Hi and welcome to a new Indigun video. In this video, we're going to go over simming, why you should do it, how you do it, because when you ask someone who has played a lot of World of Warcraft, is this item better than that? What gear should I go for? They will almost always tell you, just sim yourself. So let's learn what simming actually is, and maybe even if you know what it is, I'll show you some tips and tricks how you can use it effectively. Let's go straight into it. So first off, we're going to talk about what simming is. Simming is a way to run many simulations, as you might be able to tell by the name, for your character. So instead of you going into a dungeon, testing some gear setups 1,000 times in a row, which is not feasible to do as a player, you can just run simulations and they will do it for you. Because there's a lot of variance in World of Warcraft, so one dungeon will not be enough. You need thousands, and that is why you use simming to figure out what the best gear is. They will also not account for mistakes, which means all the simulations they run will be pretty accurate, while if you run as a player, a lot of them wouldn't be. But that is essentially why we sim. We use it to figure out what gear will give us the highest damage per second. It is not very good for healing, as far as I'm aware. Sims for healing don't really exist, and for tanking survivability, they are not that good either. So healers, there's not that much simming you can really do. Tanks, there is a lot of simming because DPS is a very important portion of tanking. So you can figure out which items will give you the highest DPS. And as a DPS, simming is golden. It will tell you what gear you should go for. That's simple. So, how do we sim ourselves? Well, the first of all, you should get an add-on because if you don't have the add-on, you have to rely on World of Warcraft's armory updates, which is not reliable. You don't exactly know when it's happening and everything like that. So just using the add-on is a lot easier. The add-on is called Simulation Craft. You can find that on basically every site that lets you download add-ons. It is a very popular, used add-on. So that should not be difficult. So once you have the add-on, the reason why we get that add-on is that once you get a new item or anything, even once you open your Great Vault on weekly reset, you can write /simc. So SIMC. That will give you up all of this. Now what's in here is not important for you. You just have to copy it. So Control C, and then you have it copied. Once you have it copied, we can open the tool we're going to use for simming. Most people that I know use RaidBots. You can use any tool you want, but I would suggest RaidBots. It is very easy to use. It has a free version and a paid version. So once we're on RaidBots, we can check all the tools they have. However, we're only going to focus on Droptimizer and Top Gear, as those are the most used and important to use tools. The rest you can use if you want to get more advanced into it, but these two tools will cover 99% of your needs, if not 100%. So let's go into the Top Gear. Top Gear is to show, so it already has my profile, so let's remove that. Let me remove that whole thing. So this is how it will look for you. Top Gear is a method to simulate the gear you have in your bags and equipped. So if you got a new trinket, Top Gear is amazing. If you want to just check one item, Top Gear is also amazing, and I'll show you how. So we paste the string we got from our add-on, which will give us our whole character here. And all the talents we have, all the items we have, everything. I'm going to show you something right away. If items, like let's look at this item. This item, you can select the item level. Well, this wasn't a good example. If these are grayed out, that means you don't have enough crests because it counts the crests you have as well. So let's say I change my crest to 1, my hero crests. Then it will be grayed out because I don't have enough crests to upgrade it. If you don't want to calculate what you can get with the crest you have, just click max all and it will let you upgrade whatever you want. Same with catalyst charges. If you want to check which tier pieces you should have, if you want to check if is it worth it for me to catalyst these 2 veteran pieces, or should I just run my non-set my non-set hero track pieces, just put the catalyst charges to max. If you want to see exactly which pieces you should catalyst, obviously you need to keep it at the amount of charges you have. So those are some quick things you should know about right away. Now let's dive into if you want to search for a specific item, if you want to check how big is this item, should I get it? You can put in crafted items, you can put in anything. We're going to use puzzle box because that is an item I know very well, as it is a really good trinket. So then it comes up here. As you can see, item level 53, that is not what we want. Let's see, say we have a max upgraded hero track puzzle box. So now we just click here, and then if we go down to the trinket section, there will be a TGS tag. That is means we searched for it. It is Top Gear Search. And then, as you can see, it already selected it for us because we wouldn't be adding items we don't want selected. Once you have once you have made any changes that it has to simulate, you will see the number of iterations at the bottom. So if I unselect the trinket, you can see that that goes away. Now, if you are on the free version, you have 300,000 iterations. If you add a lot of stuff, they will go up really fast. And if you have the paid version, you can get more. There's also other things that I will talk about, which has the difference between paid and free version. Here you can see it grabs all the items from my bags. I'm just going to sim this trinket in the example, but you can put in as many items you want as long as you are below the iterations number you can use. So that is how you use Top Gear. Also, if you do like I showed you and write /simc while your vault is open, obviously doesn't work for me now because reset hasn't hit yet, so there's no items for me to pick from the vault. If there are items there, they will also immediately populate here, and instead of the TGS tag, they will have the Great Vault tag GV. So if you want to just sim what item is my biggest upgrade, just open your vault /simc, throw it in here, and you can select all three of them and sim them all at once. I have made a video about Great Vault and which items you should pick from the Great Vault, or how you should think about what to pick from the Great Vault. I will put that video in the description down below if you are interested in that. The reason why I went over it here is that one of the important things to think about is character power. And this is how you figure out how much character power they are. So there's not really anything else to say about Top Gear. It fits your needs if you want to add specific items. It fits your needs if you want to sim Great Vault items or items you have in your bag. Or enchants, different sockets, and different talents. So all of these things you can change. And then you just click sim. I will show you the finished report as well. So depending on how many people are simming, it can take varied amounts of time. This one will go really fast, but I'm not going to let you wait for that, so I will just skip forward to when the sim is completed. So now that the sim is completed, it will show you your DPS, but it will also show you the best gear setup it found. So, as you can see, it ran by just taking a few minutes, it ran almost 7,000 simulations. So that is why we sim. That is how effective it is and good it is. Obviously, the higher item level trinket is better than the same trinket at a lower item level. But here you can see the difference. You can select relative DPS if you want to see percentage or the number. And if you sim a lot of different variations, you will see a lot of lines down here with the different setups and how they simmed. So that is how you Top Gear sim. Another thing I want to mention is that if you make a profile on this website, you can, which is completely free to do, you can click this button and it will remember your sims. So if you simmed something yesterday and you wanted to check how good that was, you can just click it here and it will remember it automatically. So I do highly recommend making a profile, even if you're not going to pay for the premium subscription. The next thing I will show you is a really good tool, which is the Droptimizer. That is how do you get your upgrades? So here you can also select your profile from the army. I'm not gonna do that. I have the SimC from earlier. So when you are completing your vault, it doesn't matter which dungeon you do, right? Any +10 will give you the maximum vault, which does mean that for me, who I want Algethar puzzle box. Mine is only champion. I wanted a hero. That means I can, for example, farm only Algethar Academy until the 8 times per week, or more if I want to spend more time, until the trinket drops. Instead of doing other dungeons and not having a chance to get the trinket. Now, how can we know that puzzle box is the best trinket? You simply sim for it. If you have the premium version, this is the only reason why I pay personally for the premium version, is that you can sim all dungeons at once. If you do not have the premium version, you have to sim it one dungeon at a time. You can also sim the different raids here, or all raids, which if you want from season 1. You can also sim a lot of different stuff like PvP, catalyst things, professions. There's a lot here you can sim. So let's use dungeons as an example. If you are using the free version and you just want to sim all dungeons, the easiest way I would tell you to do that is to just right click your tab and duplicate it and then throw in your string again, and then you do that for each dungeon. So you would have to do that 8 times. Then you can just start all 8 sims at once, go away, do a dungeon, whatever, come back, and they will all be done, and you can check the different results. However, if you have the premium version, it will all be neatly tied on in one sim on one page. But my point here is you can do it for free if you want to. It's just a little bit more work for you. It's also really important that you choose here which upgrade you want so that you're not simming different item levels. Because if you're wondering like which trinket is the best, but then one trinket is 3 or 6 item levels higher, that's not a good metric. You pretty much always want them to be the same item level if they are on the same track when you're simming them. But that is up to you. So then we just choose a random dungeon. Let's just choose something else than Algathar so that I can show you the different trinkets. I know one of the dungeons, where is it? Windrunner Spire has 2 trinkets. So let's just use that as an example. Let's say we want every item that is lower to be upgraded to the 3 out of 6, and you can have the question marks if you know what these items or these settings mean. Here, you choose which type of dungeon you want. This is also relevant for Top Gear. You choose which type of fight you want, and then you choose how many bosses you want. And there will be a description here. Now, single target is wrong because we have 5 bosses. So there's 5 single targets, which means there's 5 targets, not single target. Most used is either Patchwork or Dungeon Slice. However, you can use whatever you want. The only thing I know is that Patchwork is the most accurate, but you can experiment and see for yourself. So then we just start the sim again, and I will skip forward to when the sim is completed. So the sim is now completed, and it actually shows me that there is an upgrade for me, but it also shows all the other items. So as you can see, none of these trinkets will be beating my champion track puzzle box, for example, or my champion track plume, because these are the 2 best trinkets for my spec. So here you can see how many upgrades there are. So I can see that if I run this and I get these wrists, they are an upgrade for me. So that is why you would use drop optimizer sims, to just see which dungeon you should farm, which items you should target. So that is really all there is of to simming. It is really easy to do. It's fast to do. You can just run a sim and then go do something else and then come back and the sim will be completed for you. I just want people to know how easy it is to sim. And now you don't have to ask people, what should I use? You can just sim yourself and then you'll know. And when someone asks you or tells you to sim yourself, you actually know how to do it. If you enjoy these fast like guides or tips and trick videos, I would greatly appreciate a like on the video and a subscription to the channel, which is completely free to do. My next video is going to go over, or one of the next videos, I might have a Great Vault video in between, is going to go over how to improve the DPS. So gearing is one of those sections. That's why I wanted to make this video first, but there are way more to improving your DPS, and I'm going to go over that in that video. So thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.